clearly, the message is part of you got to look into what you're doing and you got to understand the risks. And they want to get to the bottom of it and see if the matter could have been prevented, and if it could have been, they want to get the message out on how it could have been stopped and what could be done so that no other family, possibly suffers this in the future. Well, it's a very rare condition, and the only way to test for it prior to somebody having surgery is a genetic test, which has to be done through muscle tissue. The question really is it medically feasible for every single person that goes under anesthesia to have this test done? And we may ultimately find out that the answer to that is no, it's not feasibly possible. But there's more to the story than that. There are signs which start to develop as somebody is under anesthesia, which would indicate that they are suffering from this particular condition or had this particular genetic disorder. And there is a definitive medication that, if administered in time, is extremely effective, and it saves many lives. So the real question here is, was it administered appropriately? Was it administered at the right time? And the family wants to make it very clear, they are not here to assault the character of the plastic surgeon or the anesthesiologist, because really nobody knows what happened. They could have very easily done the right thing, and ultimately this turns out just to be a tragedy that couldn't have been avoided. So really the first step is to gather all of the information, gather all of the evidence, work with the Palm Beach County Medical Examiner's Office as well as our experts to really render an opinion to factually what happened and really could it have been avoided. And ultimately there is an underlying issue that the family wants to get out, one that's really for the community in large. Is what price do we pay? How much are we saving by having these general anesthesia procedures performed in a doctor's office as opposed to a hospital setting? One thing that is abundantly clear is that by the time the doctor realized that something was going tragically wrong and called the ambulance and she got to the Delray Medical Center, we lost anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. Plastic surgery is an extremely competitive industry. Most of the work is done by flat rate. And what I think we may find out is that by charging the flat rates, having to be competitive, the doctor is able to retain more of that flat fee by doing the procedure in his hospital, doing the procedure in his office, than it is having to pay out of that fee the hospital bill. So that's the overlying factor: is could have this been prevented by somehow altering that system?